ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। तो आप सभी का स्वागत है आज के
welcome all of you to this session of Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
दूसरे अध्याय का 36वां श्लोक।
We are studying 36th verse of the second chapter.
31वें श्लोक से लेकर और यहाँ
Here
37 तक
from the 31st verse till 37, Bhagavan has been inspiring Arjun to fight in the war, and he told both the benefits and the disadvantages, benefit of fighting and disadvantage of not fighting.
तो यहाँ पर फिर वो बोल रहे हैं इसी को, क्योंकि अर्जुन का ये विचार था कि अगर मैं युद्ध करता हूँ तो गुरुजनों के साथ युद्ध करने का,
Because Arjun was thinking that if I fight with my gurujanas, my superiors, I will incur sin, and the person who maintained me, who gave me knowledge,
उनको मारने के लिए तैयार हूँ।
and I am engaging to kill them only.
अगर मैंने उनको मार दिया तो फिर गुरुवध का भी पाप लगेगा,
And if I kill them, I will incur the sin of killing Guru.
तो बहुत कष्ट होगा और फिर भी लोग निंदा करेंगे कितना बहुत बड़ा वीर बनता था अपने आप को।
people will criticize me.
और अगर युद्ध नहीं करता हूँ
If I do not fight in the war, then also there will be criticism. So Arjun is in the dilemma.
तो भी निंदा ना करूं तो भी निंदा
He is in this dilemma whether I should fight or not fight. In both cases, I will incur criticism.
हमारे जीवन में इस प्रकार की स्थिति आ जाती है
Because sometimes we face such situations in life that
दुविधा में पड़ जाता है कि इस काम को करें
mind is in duality. It is not able to take decision whether I should do this or not do this, because we see problems in both the cases. So Arjun is in this type of mental situation where he is not able to decide whether he should fight or not fight. Earlier also, he told this only.
यदि वह जय मैं यदि वानो जय कौन सा ठीक है युद्ध करना ना करना हम जीते या वो जीते हैं निश्चय नहीं कर पा रहा था तो उसी के लिए भगवान यहाँ पर फिर बोल रहे हैं
So now Bhagavan is speaking.
वाच्यवादांश्च बहुन वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् और तुम्हारे
Translation: and your enemies, disparaging your prowess, will speak many abusive words. Indeed, what could be more painful than this?
तो भगवान कहते हैं कि आप
So Bhagavan is telling that you are thinking that if you fight in the war, you will be criticized.
उसमें तो युद्ध में आप मर भी सकते हो उसके बाद में निंदा होगी तो उसको कौन सुनता है
If you die fighting, how will you hear your criticism? And if you win in the war, the people who are who can potentially criticize you, then they will anyway die. And even if somebody survives, then you can anyway subdue that person. But if you do not fight and you run away, then people will speak all kinds of words for you. They will speak abusive words for you, and they will speak many abusive words for you.
तो ये पक्का है इसमें ये नहीं है कि
So that is guaranteed. There is no doubt whether they will do it or not. They will definitely speak. Will definitely speak many abusive words to you. And when you will hear this criticism, then what will you do? Then your blood will start boiling and you will again come back to fight, because you are a Kshatriya, you are not a Vaishya or a Brahmana. Being a Kshatriya, you will not be able to tolerate criticism. If Kshatriya can tolerate criticism, then what kind of Kshatriya is he? That's why Bhagavan is telling that you will definitely re-engage in the war because of not being able to tolerate criticism. It is not in your nature. When a person acts against Swabhava, he can do it for some time, but after that, he starts facing trouble. So from childhood, you have heard so much praise of yours. You were the best disciple of your Guru. Dronacharya himself had praised so much that there is no greater warrior than you. Among all my disciples, you are the best. So your Guru had also praised you so much, he had given you your blessings. So now the people with whom you had studied together, now they only will criticize you. These people who had heard so much of your praise, they were always ready to seek the opportunity to criticize you. Then it will become very difficult for you to tolerate this criticism. And criticism is also of two types. One is false and one is true. One is that the person doesn't have any fault, still is being criticized. So at least that person knows that I am not a thief and I am falsely being criticized.
कोई चोर है, उसको कोई चोर कहता है तो उसको अपने आप को पता ही है ना कि मैं चोर हूँ।
But if somebody is actually a thief and he is being criticized, he knows it. So he may just externally try to defend himself, but internally he knows that I am actually a thief. If a person has lied and he knows that he has lied, and he is being criticized that you are a liar, and on the other side, there is a person who is truthful, but he is being falsely criticized as being a liar, so his anger will be more. So, when you will be criticized that you ran away from the battlefield out of fear, which is not actually the case, so then there will be lot of criticism for you. That's why Bahun word is used here.
और उसका मुख्य कारण यही है कि इन लोगों
And
के
its
मन में
main
तुम्हारे प्रति बहुत ईर्ष्या
reason
है,
is that
इसलिए
these
अहिंसा
people are
बढ़ाते हैं।
highly envious of you.
और जब ये बड़े बड़े लोग बोलेंगे,
And when these great people will tell,
दुर्योधन राजा है
definitely the ordinary people will also join in that criticism.
और फिर भीष्म
Because
द्रोणाचार्य
Duryodhan is like a king,
क्या है,
then Bhishma, Dronacharya, they all will join in that. They will also start criticizing that we were considering Arjun to be a great warrior,
हमारा आदर करके जा रहा है,
because they will also not think that Arjun ran away
तो सभी
out
लोग
of respect for us.
उनकी
So
तुलना
that
करके भी
means
बोलेंगे।
everyone
क्या
will
भीम नहीं सोचेगा
criticize.
कि क्या हो गया इसका?
Even your brothers will think like
भीम का
this.
काम
Will
सिर्फ
Bhim not
तुम्हारे
think like this?
युद्ध
Do
करना
you
है,
think Bhim will congratulate you when you will run away from the battlefield?
तवाहिता आपके शत्रु करेंगे, लेकिन शत्रु के
So, although Bhagavan
साथ में
said
जो उनके
Tavahita,
अपनी
that
तरफ
only your enemies will criticize, but not only that,
आपके लोग
actually people
जो
on your
तुम्हारी
side,
प्रशंसा
they will
करेंगे,
also criticize you.
जो उनके
All
प्रेमी
those
करेंगे,
who have been praising
तो
you,
आपकी
who are
फैन
your
फॉलोइंग बढ़
fans,
जाएगी ना।
now your fan following will
क्या हो गया
decline.
इसको?
That what
तो इसलिए
happened to
भगवान
Arjun suddenly?
को सलाह देते हैं कि
That's why Bhagavan is advising
आप
him
ऐसे काम मत नहीं
that
कीजिए, क्योंकि उससे
do
बड़ा
not act
दुख
like
कोई हो
this,
नहीं सकता।
because there is no greater
आपकी
suffering
सामर्थ्य की
than
निंदा
this.
करेंगे
Nothing is more painful than
और
this.
आप में फिर ये
They will
सामर्थ्य नहीं होगी कि आप उनकी
criticize
निंदा
your
करें।
prowess, and you
तेजस्वी
will not
होकर
be able
लड़िए।
to tolerate that criticism. That's why please fight.
तो उसके बाद में फिर वो अगला इस कड़ी का जो अंतिम श्लोक है वो बोलते हैं।
Then Bhagavan speaks the last verse in this chain of thought.
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्थिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः। यदि तुम युद्ध करते हुए मारे गए तो
If
तुम्हें
you are killed while fighting, you will attain heaven, or if you are victorious, you will enjoy dominion over the earth. Therefore, stand up, O son of Kunti, having firmly resolved to fight.
तो भगवान कहते हैं कि आपको ये शंका नहीं होनी चाहिए कि मेरे को
So Bhagavan is telling you should not have any doubt regarding what you should do and what you should not do.
कतरन्नो करिए ने कहा था कौन सा ठीक है, मैं निश्चय से आपको बताता
So
हूँ
Arjun,
कि
now Bhagavan is telling that I am telling you
युद्ध का निश्चय कीजिए,
definitely that you should fight. You should be determined to fight. Because until and unless you have the determination, how will you fight properly? When a person has doubt, then the person is unable to act with firm resolve. So that's why firm determination is very important. Otherwise, when we are doubtful, then a doubtful person is destroyed.
इसलिए उसको संशय बोलते हैं।
One cannot act with doubts.
बुद्धि इसमें बुद्धि निर्णय नहीं कर पाती है।
When a person has doubt, his intelligence is unable to decide properly.
नहीं होता तो फिर आदमी अपनी
So when there is no proper decision, then the person cannot act with full energy, with full vigor. So Bhagavan is telling, don't keep any doubt.
लड़ोगे तो भी लड्डू खाओगे,
In both cases, you will be benefiting, whether you win or lose.
तो स्वर्ग जाओगे।
If you die, then you will achieve Swarga, heaven.
युद्ध में मरते हुए कोई वीर गति को प्राप्त,
Because there is rule in the Dharma Shastra that if somebody dies while fighting, it is called Veeragati. That means it was a brave, victorious death.
पृथ्वी का राज्य भोगोगे।
And if you continue living, which means you won in the war, then you will
कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है।
enjoy the kingdom. So that is why you should not have any doubt and you should fight. That's why Bhagavan is telling him Kaunteya. He is addressing Arjun as Kaunteya.
मतलब आप कुंती के पुत्र हैं
Kaunteya means you are
कुंती
the
ने
son
अर्जुन
of
को यही
Kunti,
संदेश दिया था
and Kunti had
कि
delivered this
अपने
message to
पुत्रों से
me
जाके बोलना
that when you meet my sons, please tell them
एक
that
क्षत्राणी
the
वीर पुत्र
purpose
को
for
पैदा
which
करके वो
a
संसार में
brave
लिए आ गए यदर्थम
a brave
सुखदेव
Kshatriya
जन्म
queen gives birth to Kshatriya sons,
तदा बता
that
तो
time has
यही
now
संदेश
arrived.
देने
Now it is
इसलिए
the time to fulfill that
याद दिलाने
purpose.
के लिए अर्जुन को यहाँ पर
So Bhagavan is reminding Arjun of that, and that
कौन्तेय
is why
शब्द
he is addressing Arjun as
संबोधित
Kaunteya.
करते हैं और कहने का मतलब है कि
The point is that
आदमी अगर अपना कर्तव्य कर्म करता
if
है
a person performs his duty,
तो उसमें
his
लाभ
karma,
ही है
then it
और
is
जो
of
जिसका
benefit
कर्तव्य
to
कर्म
him.
है उसका फल
Whatever
नहीं
is one's
भोगता है
prescribed duty, if the
उसका
person
परिणाम
does not
भोगता खाली
prescribe,
है
does not perform that, then there is
और
no
कहने
benefit
का
in that.
मतलब
The
ये
person
समझना
will
चाहिए
end up
कि यहाँ पर
losing.
इस श्लोक में भगवान
And every
उसको
person
बताएंगे
should perform his duty,
तो
his karma.
अर्जुन का कर्तव्य
Bhagavan will tell that in the next
धर्म युद्ध
verse.
करना इसलिए कहते हैं कि
And
आप
it is Arjun's
खड़े होकर
duty
युद्ध कीजिए
to fight in the war, as he is a
अर्जुन
Kshatriya. So he should
वो
stand up
बैठ गया था
and be ready, because Arjun had sat down.
अध्याय का जो अंतिम श्लोक था
The last verse of the previous chapter
रथोपस्थ
mentioned that
विसृज्य सस्रम चापम रथोपस्थ विपाशित वो अपना धनुष बाण छोड़कर
Arjun gave up his
आसन पर
bow and
बैठा
arrows, and
उसका मन
he
जो है वो शोक में
sat
डूब गया
in
था
a mood of desperation,
तो
in a mood of
इसी
despair.
के लिए कहते हैं कि
He was lamenting.
क्योंकि वो
So that's why Bhagavan is telling him, please get up,
इसी प्रकार ये
because
जो
Arjun
मनुष्य
was
जीवन है
seated
इसमें
in the
भी
chariot.
उत्तिष्ठ
So in our in our human form of life,
प्राप्य
we should.
निबोध तो वेद का ये उद्घोष है कि आप
This
उठिए
is the Vedic
अपने
declaration.
आलस्य में मत रहिए
Vedas orders to
अपराध
human beings
पूर्वक
that
प्राप्त
wake up,
उठाइए
stand up,
मनुष्य जीवन
do not
उसका
be
लाभ
lazy, and take complete
केवल इस
benefit of
जीवन
this
बहुत ही अनमोल है
human life. So this human
इसमें
form is extremely
सभी समस्याओं
important,
का सभी
because
दुखों का
in this
समाधान
life we can
कर सकते हैं
solve all our
ये
problems.
भी इसका एक भाव निकलता है उत्तिष्ठ का
So
उत्तिष्ठ
this is another purport behind
जैसे
Bhagwan's
आजकल मोटिवेशनल
word
स्पीकर बोलते हैं
Uttishtha.
कि भगवान
Like nowadays
उसका
motivational
समर्थन
speakers
करते हैं
speak.
कि खड़े हो
Similarly,
जाओ
Bhagavan is telling Arjun, he is motivating Arjun to
तो
stand up, get ready to fight.
हमको अपने जीवन में हमेशा कर्तव्य परायण रहना चाहिए
So we
आलस्य
should
नहीं करना
always be
चाहिए
dutiful in our life. We should never be lazy.
नमोपायति लक्ष्मी तो दैवेन देयाति का पुरुषा वदन्ति दैवम निहत्य कुरु पौरुषमात्मशक्त्या यत्ने कृते यदि न सिद्ध्यति तो मनुष्य को जो है पुरुष करना चाहिए पुरुषार्थ करना चाहिए
So a human being should do his purushartha, should perform his duty. Success,
जो उद्योग करता है जो
Lakshmi
प्रयत्न करता है उसी के पास जाती है और
comes to
जिनके सहारे
only
चलता
that
रहता है
person who does
उसको
his
महापुरुष
endeavor.
बोलते हैं
One who simply remains
तो
seated, depending
महापुरुष
on
का अर्थ है
bhagya, on the fortune,
नपुंसक
that person is
दैवेन देयमिति का
is
पुरुषा
a
वदन्ति दैवम निहत्य
napumsaka,
कुरु पौरुषम
eunuch.
आत्मशक्त्या तो अपनी शक्ति के अनुसार पुरुषार्थ व्यक्ति को करना
So one
चाहिए
should perform his
ऐसे
duty
पत्नी का
according to
जन्म
his capacity.
ऐसे पुत्र को कोई स्त्री जन्म ना दे जो हरिनंदन
So
निरुत्साही
a woman should not give birth to a son
निरुत्साही है निर्वीर्य है
who is
निर्दयी है
lazy, who does
अनिष्ट
not have any
शत्रुओं को
enthusiasm,
प्रसन्नता देता है तो ऐसा
one who gives
पुत्र पैदा
pleasure
ना
to his
करें
enemies. Better
तो
not
इसलिए
to
उनको
give
कहा
birth to
कौन
such a son.
आप
That's why Arjuna is being
निर्दयी
addressed as
निर्दयी
Kaunteya, because
यहाँ
you,
तक
Bhagavan is
अर्जुन
telling
को
you are
पत्नी कह
not the
सकते
son
हैं
of such a woman.
पिछले अध्याय के अलग अलग श्लोकों में जो उन्होंने
You are the
कहा
son of Kunti. So now
पहले अध्याय में
whatever Bhagavan had told earlier,
जो
whatever Arjuna had
आदमी
told
के
in
युद्ध
the
करने
first
में कोई
chapter,
कल्याण नहीं होगा
that there is no
ऐसा
benefit in fighting in the
बोला
war,
था
Arjuna had told
कि
all this to
यथा
Bhagavan.
श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम आहवे कि मैं इस युद्ध में अपने स्वजन को मारकर कोई श्रेय नहीं सोचता हूँ
So Bhagavan had told that I do not see any benefit by killing my superiors, my Gurujanas. How can we be happy by killing them, by fighting in the
इससे
war?
हमको क्या सुख प्राप्त होगा?
What benefit shall we derive
सत्य
in
धार्म राज
this?
कान का प्रीति साथ जनार्दन। और युद्ध से हमको नरक मिलेगा।
We
अगला
will
उन्होंने जो तर्क
rather go to hell
44वें श्लोक
by
में
fighting in this war.
नरके नियतम वासो भवति इति अनुशासनम। और युद्ध करने से पाप लगेगा।
If we fight in this war, we will incur sin.
तम दोषम मित्र दोहि च पातकम पापम पापम एव आश्रय दस्मान। हमको पाप ही प्राप्त होगा।
We will
और युद्ध
only
करने
incur
से धर्म
sin.
का नाश हो जाएगा।
If we fight in this war, then dharma will be destroyed.
नष्टे कुलम कृष्णम धर्मो विभवत्युत। तो ये अनेक प्रकार के जितने भी अर्जुन ने तर्क
So all these different types of logic that Arjun had given, Bhagavan in 8 verses has answered, has clarified those doubts of Arjun, because Arjun had also given logic that we have heard like this in parampara. So Bhagavan is telling, no, it's not like that. What you are thinking is wrong. That is not the truth.
और इसमें जो मूल तर्क उन्होंने दिया है,
And the primary logic that Bhagavan gave, and later also this logic will continue, and it's a very important topic in Gita, and that is to perform work according to our swabhava, our nature. When any person works against his nature, against his swabhava, then from that he only becomes frustrated. He cannot remain peaceful. Like what people say nowadays, job dissatisfaction. It's a very big problem in today's society that people are not satisfied with their work. When a person is dissatisfied in his work, then he does not work properly. And one of the fundamental reasons of corruption in society is that people are not working according to their nature. They are doing something that goes against their nature. So this is hellish life, working against nature and remaining frustrated. That is naraka, that is hellish life. Because hell actually means suffering and swarga actually means happiness. So working according to swabhava is heaven. Because after death, who will go where, we do not know that. But here we can feel happiness only when we work according to our swabhava. It is a type of music. When there is harmony between our inner world and the outer world, then it is like singing a song which is perfectly orchestrated. So we have our body and the mind. So if we study our body, if we analyze it, then we will see body automatically keeps uh, harmonizing itself according to the climatic conditions. Because during the summer season, body automatically releases sweat to balance the temperature. And when body needs energy, then body gives the sensation of hunger. When we are feel very cold, then body starts shivering to generate more heat. So our body is made in such a way that it naturally tries to harmonize itself according to what goes inside the body and what is the outer condition, the climatic condition. So body always tries to balance itself. But for mind, there is no such system that mind will automatically balance itself. And this is the yoga in Gita, whether Bhagavan calls it as Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. It is primarily about bringing balance, bringing equanimity of the mind. Because until and unless we are balanced, we are not in a state of equilibrium, there will be no happiness in life. So earlier I had told about flow by an author. who says that flow means there is a balance, equanimity in life. So, if you analyze the lives of all the great successful people in any field, whether it is about music or any arts or
क्राफ्ट्स का क्षेत्र है
any sort of
या कोई
craft
वैज्ञानिक है,
or
तो सब
science,
लोगों के जीवन में देखोगे
so if
तो
you
वो
see
उसमें
in
अगर
all of their
काम करते हैं,
lives,
बड़ा मनोयोग से काम करते हैं, क्योंकि
they
उनका स्वभाव
work
ऐसा है।
with lot of focus, concentration,
और इसलिए
because that
उनको वो
work
सफलता प्राप्त होती
matches with their swabhava, with their
है। तो
nature.
यही
That's
शिक्षा
why
भगवान
they
हमको
have
यहाँ पर
been
दे
so
रहे हैं कि
successful.
अर्जुन आप क्षत्रिय
This
हो,
is what Bhagavan is teaching to
और
Arjun,
ये
that
वास्तव में
you are a
आपको
Kshatriya
मौका मिला है।
and you have actually got this
स्वभाव के
opportunity
अनुसार
to
अपनी
work
कला कौशल
according
को
to
दिखाने के लिए।
Swabhava,
यदृच्छा
to display
एक
your
बात है,
skill.
चौपन्नम स्वर्ग द्वारम पावकम। इसका ये भी मतलब है कि ये तो अपने आप में
Bhagavan
वो
had
युद्ध
told
करके
earlier
ये स्वर्ग
also
का द्वार
that
है। स्वर्ग में
you have
जब आप अपनी
received
कलाओं के
this
अनुसार
opportunity
अपनी कला कौशल
by which
दिखाते हो
the
और
gates
आनंद
to
आता है,
heaन have opened,
तो
because
स्वर्ग
now
तो उसी में
you can
आनंद आता
display
है
your skill
कि
of
शक्ति का
warfare
प्रदर्शन करके उसको
on this
जय प्राप्त
battlefield.
हो।
Because for a
क्षत्रिय का
kshatriya
ये
it's
है
a
कि
great
जब मौका
pleasure.
मिल जाए
Be
अपनी
like
कला
if
दिखा
there is a
सके,
musician
और
and he
ऐसे
gets an
लोग भी हैं
opportunity
जो
to
कला को
display his
समझते हैं तो उसको
skill of
आनंद आता है
music,
उसमें।
and he has an
कभी
audience
कभार
in
तो
front
उनको
of
कवि
him
ऐसे
who
लगता है
appreciate good
कि
music,
उसके
then the musician will
शब्द
be
जो
very
होते हैं वो
happy.
समझते हैं
Like
कि
if there
इसको
is a
सुनाना है
poet
तो
and
कैसे
who
होगा।
recites good
तो
poetry,
इसलिए भी
and
भगवान कह रहे
there
हैं
are
कि स्वर्ग
people who
द्वारम
understand what is
पावकम,
good
हे
poetry,
भगवान
then he'll be
आपको
very
मिला है
happy.
स्वर्ग का,
So now the
तो
gates to
आप
heaven have opened for you.
इस स्वर्ग का लाभ उठाइए।
So now you should derive advantage of that.
युद्धमीदृशम सुखिद क्षत्रिय पार्थ। तो अगर आप अपनी कला कौशल अब नहीं दिखाएंगे तो फिर कब?
So if you do not display your skill of warfare now,
इतनी
then when will you
परिश्रम की,
do
इतनी
that?
मेहनत की
All
और
the
इतनी योग्यता उपलब्धि की,
austerity that you
ये सब
performed and
व्यर्थ में
so
चली
much
जाएंगी।
skill you obtained,
तो इसलिए
all of that
जो
will go in
क्षत्रिय
vain
होते हैं
if you do
उसको
not fight
खड़ा
now.
होइए
So
और
please
युद्ध
get up
कीजिए
and fight
और
in the war
अपना ये जो मोह है
and
इसको छोड़ दीजिए।
give up the moha.
तो यहाँ तक भगवान ने
So till here,
दो प्रकार से उसको समझाया,
Bhagavan
उनको
explained
ज्ञान दिया
to Arjun in two ways. First of all, he gave him
कि
knowledge
विवेक
about the
ज्ञान से
discrimination
युक्त है,
between Atma and
शरीर से
body,
भिन्न है,
that you are
मन
not
से
the body,
भिन्न है।
you are different from the body.
उन्होंने
And
समझाया
then he
धर्म के
explained to
अनुसार।
Arjun from
तो
the
एक
dharma point
आध्यात्मिक
of
स्तर
view.
पर शिक्षा दी
So the
और एक
first one
व्यवहारिक।
was at Adhyatmic level,
व्यवहारिक
the
दोनों प्रकार से उन्होंने
Paramarthik
बताया।
spiritual level, and the second one is at Vyavaharik behavioral level,
और युद्ध का मतलब हमेशा युद्ध ही नहीं है,
at empirical
जिसका जो
level.
भी कर्तव्य है उसको
And
करना।
here, war does not mean only
जो
war,
कर्तव्य है
it
उसको करना,
indicates that
वही
every
कर्म योग्य है।
person should perform his
और अगर
prescribed
युद्ध जैसी
duty.
भीषण स्थिति में भी
For
अर्जुन
every person, his duty is
में
like
युद्ध
a
की
war.
स्थिति में, समता की स्थिति में रह सकता है, तो हर एक आदमी रह सकता है। इसका ये
So if
मतलब नहीं
Arjun, being on the
कि युद्ध
battlefield and while
दूसरी
fighting, can
जगह है।
still remain equanimous
और
in
वो
mind, then every
उस समय
person
का
can do
युद्ध है,
that,
आजकल का युद्ध नहीं है।
because this was a
उस
very
समय लोग
terrible
आमने
war,
सामने होकर लड़ते थे।
not
तो
a
ऐसी
war
स्थिति
like
में
what
भी अगर
happens
वो युद्ध
today.
की स्थिति में रहता है तो हमारे लिए तो आसान है,
So if
हमारे ऊपर
being
तो
in the
आसान से
battlefield,
आसान
Arjun can
विपत्ति
maintain
आएगी
equanimity
जब
of
हम
mind,
खतरे में हैं।
why can't we do that? Why can't we
तो
do
इसी
that?
को
Because at least
भगवान
our life is not under threat.
यहाँ से अब थोड़ा दार्शनिक तरीके से बोलते हैं,
Now Bhagavan will start
प्रायोगिक तरीके
speaking
से
in
बोलते हैं
more
कि
philosophical way.
जो ज्ञान
Till
उसको
now he
उसने
had
दिया
been speaking
आत्मा
more of
शरीर
behavioral
का
practical
विवेक,
approach.
तो
Now
उसको
the knowledge
उसके
that earlier
अनुसार
Bhagavan had
उसका
given,
जो
the
आत्मा है
discrimination between Atma and body,
कैसे
how
काम
we
कर
should
रहा है,
apply that discrimination in our life,
इसके पीछे क्या दर्शन है, क्या
and
दर्शन
what
होना
is the
चाहिए,
philosophy
उसको हम
behind that,
बताते हैं। तो ये श्लोक,
what should be the understanding behind that.
जो
That is
श्लोक
what
है ये
Bhagavan
बहुत
is
ही महत्वपूर्ण
explaining
श्लोक
now.
है
This verse number
और
38,
बड़ा
it
ही
is
प्रायोगिक श्लोक
extremely
है,
important
मार्मिक श्लोक है,
and
इसको समझना आवश्यक है।
useful in our life. We
इसको
should
अगर हम
understand
समझ
this
लेंगे तो हम हर
properly.
एक परिस्थिति में
If we
शांतिपूर्वक
can
जीवन
understand this, then we can remain
देखिए
peaceful
हर
in
एक व्यक्ति
every
चाहता है,
situation, because every
सबके
person
जीवन
wants
में
peace of mind. In
विभिन्न प्रकार की
everyone's
समस्याएं आती हैं।
life, there are
तो उन
different
समस्याओं में
problems,
आप कैसे खड़े रहें,
and how
इसके
you
लिए
can
भगवान यहाँ
remain firm,
तरीका बताते हैं। इसको
maintain your
ध्यान से
peace of
सुनना
mind
है।
in that
जैसे
situation.
जित्वा लाभालाभो जया जयो ततो युद्धाय जस्व नैवं पापम अवाप्स्यसि। सुख और दुख, लाभ
Translation:
जय
considering
और
pleasure and
पराजय को
pain,
समान समझ
gain and loss, victory and defeat alike, engage in battle. Thus, you will not incur sin. So, Arjun was having this problem of sin. He was thinking that if we fight in the war, then we will incur sin because we'll end up killing our Gurujanas, our superiors.
कितनी बार उन्होंने कहा
He told this many times.
इनको मारने से हम जो हमारा जो भोग है वो
If we kill Bhishma and Drona, then the kingdom that we will obtain, it will be stained with their blood.
सोचना गलत है
So Bhagavan is telling that your thinking is wrong.
महत्वपूर्ण श्लोक है
So this is an extremely important verse
आप
which
समझाओ
says that you should remain
तो
equanimous.
पहले तो पिछले श्लोक में तो
You should maintain
भगवान ने कहा
peace
कि
of mind.
हाथ में लड्डू है
So earlier Bhagavan had
अर्जुन
told
सोच रहा है कि
that
दोनों
you
हाथ
will
में
have
लड्डू है
advantage
लेकिन
from
लड्डू
both the
हाथ में
sides.
फैला है
You have laddu in both hands, meaning whether you win or lose, in both cases you have benefit. But Arjun is telling that the laddu I have in both hands, it is poisonous.
देखो अगर हम
Means I will have to suffer in both cases, whether I win or
तो
lose.
भी हमको
Arjun's logic is that if I win, I will incur sin of having killed my gurus. And if I lose, then also I will incur sin. You are telling I will have advantage from both sides, but I see suffering from both sides
भोग कर रहे हैं
in both
भोग
cases.
करने से तो बंधन ही होगा
Because if I enjoy
और
this
फिर
kingdom,
स्वर्ग में जाएंगे
then I will continue my bondage
भोग से
because bhoga brings bondage,
तो यहाँ
because I will remain attached to
इससे
bhog,
लाभ क्या है
whether I'm here or
इसलिए
in
भगवान
heaven.
फार्मूला बता
So
रहे हैं
what is the benefit?
कि आप किसी भी स्थिति में रहकर कैसे
So that's why Bhagavan is giving the formula that even if you are living on the earth, you are ruling in this kingdom,
कीचड़ में रहती
how can you not, how can you remain unaffected by that?
है आगे कहेंगे पद्म पत्र में वाम बसा जैसे
Bhagavan will tell
कमल
in
पे
the
पत्ता
upcoming
बाहर तो
verses,
रहता है
like a
लेकिन गीला
lotus,
नहीं होता
the leaf of
तो
lotus,
यही बता रहे
which
हैं
never actually
कि
becomes
इस
wet,
भौतिक जगत में व्यवहारिक
even
जगत
though
में
it is
कर्म
in
करते रहने
the
से
water.
किस प्रकार आप कर्म के बंधन में नहीं पड़ेंगे तो
So
उसका मूल
Bhagavan
सिद्धांत
is telling that how to remain free from the karma bandhan, from the cycle of karma,
दुखे समय कृत
even while living here.
लाभा लाभ हो जया जय हो तो होता क्या है
So what happens is
सबसे
that
मूल कारण क्या है कि हम
the fundamental
दुख नहीं चाहते
problem that we have is the fundamental desire that we have is we want only happiness.
कि हम जो
We
भी
want
काम करते
pleasure
हैं
and
उससे
we want to avoid
सुखाय
suffering.
कर्माणि करोति लोके
Any activity that we perform it for sukha, for pleasure, and we perform it to get rid of
सुख के
pain,
लिए
get rid of
हम काफी
dukkha.
काम करते हैं ताकि उससे हमें लाभ
We
हो
work for
हम
sukha,
किसी
we work
कह
for
सकते हैं हम
benefit,
कोई बिजनेस कर रहे हैं उसमें लाभ होगा
for
तभी पैसा
profit.
मिलेगा
If somebody is doing a business, he is doing it for
अगर
profit.
अलाभ होगा
If he incurs
हार
loss,
जाएगा तो उससे दुख होगा
then he will be suffering.
इसी प्रकार जय और पराजय
Similarly, victory and
तो जय
defeat.
अगर होगी
If there
हमारा
will be
लाभ होगा हमारा
victory,
सुख होगा
then we will have,
और अगर हार
then we
होगी
will be in profit, we
हानि
will be
होगी
benefit.
हमारा सब कुछ
And
चला
if
जाएगा
we lose,
इससे दुख होगा
if we get defeated, then we end
तो
up
यहाँ जो
losing
पाप का
whatever we
मूल
have.
कारण वो बता रहे हैं वो है
So Bhagavan is
माया
telling
शक्ति
that the root
और
cause
दुख से
of
द्वेष
sin
ये जो
is
दो सिद्धांत
being
हैं
attached
वो
to
बताए जा
pleasure
रहे हैं राग और
and
द्वेष
having hatred
जिन पर
for
हमारा मन
pain.
चलता है
That is raga dvesh,
जिनसे
on
हमको
which
सुख
our mind
मिलता है उनको
runs.
राग
So whatever
तो
gives us sukha, gives
सुखानुच्छेदानि
us pleasure,
से
we have raga for that.
पतंजलि जी के सूत्र हैं
Patanjali's
कि सुख
sutra
का
is there
राग से संबंध है दुख का
that
द्वेष
sukha
से
is
संबंध है
connected with
जिससे हमको
raga
दुख
and
मिलता है
dukkha
उससे
is
द्वेष
connected
होता
with
है जिससे
dvesh.
सुख मिलता है उससे
Whatever
राग
gives
होता है
us sukha, pleasure, we have raga for that,
तो
attachment for that.
हम कोई
And
भी काम
whatever gives
करते
us
हैं
dukkha, pain,
नहीं करना
we
चाहते
have
हैं
dvesh,
ये
hatred for that.
सिद्धांतों से चलती है
So when we want to work
इसी के
and for
कारण
what we don't want to work, it
इसी से
runs on this
चल
only,
रहा था
raga and dvesh. Then there is duality and then there
लेकिन
is
पाप
corruption.
कब करता है आदमी पाप का
Because
मतलब
when
है कि
does a
धर्म के
person
विरुद्ध काम करते
perform
हैं
sin? Sin means you act against dharma.
और अगर धर्म के अनुसार
That is
काम करते
papa.
हैं तो उससे पुण्य होता है
If you work according to dharma, then you
तो
get
धर्म के
punya,
विरुद्ध पाप
you get
कोई
pious
क्यों करता
result.
है
Why does a
क्योंकि वो सोचता
person
है कि ये
perform
काम करने
sin,
से मेरे को
act
सुख
against
मिलेगा
dharma?
मेरे को
Because he
लाभ
thinks
होगा
that if I do this,
मेरी
I
उन्नति
will
होगी
make profit,
उसी के लिए करता
I
है
will get pleasure. we work for that reason only the person performs sin. So as long as the person has attachment to pleasure, attachment to sukha, the person will keep performing sinful activity. People give donation thinking that by this donation I will get punya, I will get happiness. But for giving donation you need money, and then you do sinful activities to get money. First you do business, then do corruption, then come to Vrindavan and give donation. This is what many people do. This is what happens. People earn money in the wrong way and then engage that money in dharma. But they do not know that this money cannot be used for dharma. It is a rule of Dharma Shastra that whatever money you have earned by unlawful means, by that money you will never be able to make benefit according to dharma. One whose wealth is not clean, one whose wealth is black, not white. So if you engage in dharma with black money, then it is of no benefit because its root is in papa, is in sin. If you plant a tree whose, which gives poisonous fruit, then the planting of that tree itself was wrong. How can it will give poisonous fruit only because that is what is there in the seed. So when you earned money by unlawful means, then how can that money, even when engaged in dharma, give you benefit? So people have this great misconception that we earn money by unlawful means and then we give 10% donation. So there is no much benefit with that donation. So that's what Bhagavan is telling here. Bhagavan will speak a lot on this principle in the upcoming verses. So this is a big milestone in Bhagavad Gita, this verse. And he will continue this till the 18th verse. And we have to understand this with a lot of deliberation, contemplation. You have to go deep into the Gita, that actually whenever any activity is performed, the activity is neither pap nor punya. We think that if we give donation, then there is punya. And if we steal, then it is sinful, it is papa. If you do violence to somebody, it is papa, it is sinful. At some level, it is okay, it is true. And Shastra gives us, makes this type of statements because every person does not have deep thinking. So some direct formulas are given that do this, don't do that. But actually, any activity in itself is not good or bad. What is good or bad is the person, in the person. This is the fundamental principle. But this is very difficult to understand. That's why we say that this is good activity, that is bad activity. But what is good or bad is the bhava, the mental state of that person. If the bhava is bad, then that good activity will also become bad only. So somebody had asked this question that if there is a person and that person is committing suicide and the other person is watching the previous one committing suicide and he goes and stops that person and prevents him from committing suicide by explaining to him properly. So when you stopped that person from committing suicide, what you did was good only. That people will praise that person because suicide is also sin. Not only that, it is a crime also. So if somebody tries to commit suicide and fails in that attempt, and if that person is caught, then he can be punished under law. But now suppose this person who was prevented from committing suicide, let's say he goes later and kills another 10 people. Then saving that person from committing suicide was a good act or bad act?
अगर वो आदमी आत्महत्या कर लेता तो 10 लोगों की जान
If
बच
that
जाती।
person would have committed suicide, then 10 other people,
उस आदमी
their
को मार
lives
दिया
could
और
have
उसकी
been
जगह
saved.
10 लोगों की हत्या कर
But
दी,
this
उसके बाद
person was saved
तो
from
नहीं होता
committing
है
suicide and he went
फ्रस्ट्रेटेड थे
and
क्योंकि
killed 10
कई
people.
लोग ऐसे करते हैं ना, गुस्से में आके गोली निकाली। इस अखबार में आते रहते हैं ना, स्कूल में गए और
So many people
उसने
do this. We
सबको
hear in
सबको मार
read
दिया।
in newspaper somebody took out gun, went to some
बच्चे
school and
कहाँ
killed
पर?
many children.
तो ऐसे होता है ना मथुरा में। देखो आज ही हुआ है, बता रहे हैं वकील साहब।
बच्चे को फेंक के छत से, अपनी पत्नी बच्चे बच्ची और अपनी माँ को मार दिया और खुद भी
अपने को भी मारा, पत्नी बच्चे सबको मार के खुद मार लिया। तो ऐसे आदमी करता है, तो आदमी आत्महत्या कर रहा था।
So these things, we hear these such type of news regularly. No person commits suicide out of happiness. Person does it out of frustration, depression only.
शाम को उसको कहीं और ज्यादा गुस्सा आया है, पी ली उसने, जाके मार दिया। तब उसको बचाना ठीक
So
नहीं
let's say that person who was committing suicide was saved. In the evening, he became drunk
इसी
and
फिलॉसफी
he
में
went and killed many
पूछा
people. So now it is very difficult to ascertain
जो हुआ
that
था
saving
वो
that
हुआ,
person
उससे
from
पहले
suicide
अगर
was good or
वो
bad.
हत्या कर देता।
So this question was asked to some philosophers: if Hitler would have been killed before the Second World War, it would have been good or bad. Hitler killed millions of people in
उससे पहले
concentration
अगर वो उसकी
camps.
हत्या करता तो
So
क्या करता?
before that, if somebody would have murdered him,
और
it would
उससे
have
पहले
been
अगर
good or
उसकी
no?
हत्या करता तो उस पर केस चलता नहीं चलता?
If somebody would have killed Hitler before this,
इतने लोगों की
then
जान
that
उसने कैसे
person
बचाई, ये तो पता नहीं था ना।
would have
कुछ
been
पता नहीं है कौन
convicted
सा
under
कानून
law or
कौन
no.
गलत है कौन सा
So
ठीक है।
it
उसके पीछे भाव देखा जाएगा।
so it is very
ऐसा
difficult
भाव
to
कोई डाल
ascertain
रहा
the
है
activity is good or bad. The bhava behind that has to be checked.
यस्य न हम कृति
In 18th chapter,
यस्य
Bhagavan
न
will
हम
explain
कृति
this.
स्वापि सहिमान लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्य यस्य न हम कृतो भावो बुद्धिर यस्य न लिप्यते। वहाँ तक 18वें अध्याय तक भगवान इस बात को खींचेंगे, क्योंकि ये बहुत मुश्किल है
So Bhagavan will carry on this point till the 18th chapter because it is very difficult to understand.
सम रहना मतलब जो
So
पहले जो हम हैं
maintaining
हम ये सब
equanimity
नहीं है,
in
हम मन
pleasure and
नहीं है,
pain.
हम बुद्धि नहीं है, हम ये सब नहीं है, सब
So
रहेगा।
earlier he told
तो उस
that
आत्मा की
when
स्थिति
earlier
में
he had told that we are Atma, we are not this body, we are not this mind.
तो फिर आप
So here what
आत्मा
it
में
that
है,
is the
परात्मा में है,
application of that
ये सब
knowledge.
शरीर के से संबंधित है।
Because this
यानी ये
pleasure,
सब शरीर
pain,
के साथ ही तो है।
victory, defeat, these are all
इससे
connected to
आत्मा
the
से कोई
body.
लेना देना नहीं।
They
आत्मा
have
किसी
nothing
चीज
to
से
do
कोई
with the
सुख
Atma.
प्राप्त करता ना दुख प्राप्त करता, ना
Atma neither
लाभ है
derives
ना
pleasure
जय है ना
nor
पराजय,
pain,
आत्मा का तो कुछ है नहीं।
nor Atma is not
और हम हैं
victorious or defeated, and we are the Atma,
परमात्मा के अंश हैं, ममैव वंशो जीवलोके जीवभूत
and
सनातन।
we are अंश of
तो
Paramatma.
इसको अगर हम समझ लें
So if we understand
तो
this,
हम समता की स्थिति में रह सकते हैं।
then we can
और
remain
फिर ये जो
in a
भ्रष्टाचार
peaceful
चलता है
mind, equanimity.
ये इसलिए चलता
And then this corruption that
है
happens,
कि
it is
आत्मा
because
को
of
जाना
this
है,
only, because every person wants profit and nobody wants to
कर्तव्य
work,
कर्म नहीं करना चाहता है।
nobody
तो
wants to
भगवान ये
perform
कहते हैं
his
आत्मा की
duty.
स्थिति में रह के ये नहीं है कि आपको अपना कर्तव्य कर्म
So when
करना
Bhagavan is telling that remain
होगा।
situated,
शरीर हम जो हमारा
become
शरीर है वो इन
Atmastha,
दो चीजों से मेल
situated in Atma, then
खाएगा।
Bhagavan does not
आत्मा
mean that
से
you do not
हम
perform your
आत्मा और
duty,
शरीर से
because our existence is
आत्मा
Atma
सम ही
plus
है,
this body.
तो उसको पहचान कर और
So
उस
Atma is anyway
कर्तव्य कर्म के
Sama
अनुसार
only.
धर्म के अनुसार
So
तो
recognizing that
यही
and
वास्तव में
doing duty
मुक्ति का
according to
मार्ग है,
the
इसी को योग
swabhava
कहते
that we
हैं।
have in this
सर्वामिति
body.
भगवान जाके
So that is
समत्वम योग
yoga.
उच्यते।
That is what Bhagavan will
तो
tell in
इसमें
the
जाके
upcoming
बहुत
verses.
बहुत बार है
Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So he will talk
परमात्मा
many
में हम
times
जो
about
मिल गया
samatha, about balancing,
मित्र को
maintaining
मित्र
peace,
सहित
equanimity of mind.
इसको बार बार कहेंगे कि मान
He
अपमान
will tell this again and again.
शत्रु मित्र में आप तुल्य रहिए, सम
That
रहिए,
in honor, dishonor,
समता की
with
बात है।
friend, with enemy, remain balanced, remain
तो ये
equipoised.
गीता का योग है।
So this is the yoga
एक
of
दूसरा योग
Gita.
है कि आप
In other
डरिए
places, there are other
तो
yogas
ये यहाँ
that
बताना
you
चाह रहे
sit
हैं कि
and
आप
do
युद्ध करते
meditation.
समय भी योग
So
कर सकते
Bhagavan
हैं।
is telling that you can do
ऐसी
yoga
कठिन
even
स्थिति
while
में भी
fighting.
भगवान योग का
Even in
उपदेश दे
such a
रहे हैं
dangerous situation,
कि
Bhagavan
ये
is imparting the teaching of yoga. It means that what Bhagavan is teaching is applicable to everyone. It is useful. It is practical for everyone. Because if Bhagavan can teach yoga in a situation of war, at least everyone, others, they are not in such a situation of war under threat of life. So here Bhagavan is teaching how we can attain Paramartha even while living in this world. This is what Bhagavan is teaching in Gita. This is the importance of Gita. Gita and our life. This is the title of our series of classes, Bhagavad Gita and our life. Bhagavan is not telling that you give up everything and go to the forest, go to some ashram, take sannyas, etc. No, he will tell again and again that karma yoga is better than karma sannyas, because we have a shakti, we have the shakti, the energy to do activity, then we should utilize that energy. We cannot suppress that energy. Any guna, any shakti or energy, either you utilize it or you suppress it. So you cannot continue suppressing it, because it will definitely come up. We cannot destroy energy, we cannot create energy, we can simply use the energy. That is why Bhagavan will lay stress on this point. Although in the 6th chapter, he will talk about Dhyan Yoga, but then in the end, he will again come back to this point of equanimity of mind. In 18th chapter also, he will speak about this only, that we should remain engaged in our karma and then we can attain perfection. So Bhagavan is laying lot of emphasis on this. So what Arjun was telling earlier, that we will incur sin by fighting in the war. So Bhagavan is telling here, no, maintain equanimity, because papa is actually due to ahankar, due to duality, due to raga dvesha. That is the cause of papa, of sin. But when you will rise beyond,
तो इसको कर रहा हूँ, जब आपको लाभ और हानि में
when
आसक्ति
you will
नहीं,
understand that I am simply performing my duty because it is my duty, I am not attached to any profit or loss. So now this does not mean that there will be no profit, no loss, because when you will do some activity, it will definitely give result also. Now that result may be according to your liking, or it may not be according to your liking, but you should not have attachment to that. When we have attachment to the result, then it gives rise to punya and papa, pious and sinful result. So if Bhagavan had told that if you die, you will go to Swarga, to heaven. But now earlier he had told that, but now he is talking about moksha. He is going beyond Swarga. Because Gita is moksha shastra. It is not just about punya and papa. Because even if you go to Swarga, to heaven, then when your pious results will be finished, then you will come down again. You will again have to take birth. So how to get rid of this bondage? This knowledge is being imparted in Bhagavad Gita. So that is why Bhagavan is telling to Arjun that get up, and this bring this equanimity in your mind, and this will give happiness in life. This is a mental state. For this you don't have to do any pranayam. That is a different path, doing pranayam, asan, etc. But this is different. Here Bhagavan is telling how you have to make your mind peaceful, and that is why every person can do this. There are many people who cannot perform asan, etc. But each and every person can bring mind to this state, what Bhagavan is telling. That is why the person who remains balanced in profit, loss, victory, defeat, then that person will not have any pleasure or pain in life. Such a person will not perform sinful activity and he will not be whimsical.
ऐसा करना
So
दान
when
देना
Shastra says all the different types of activities like
खाना
give
खिलाना
donation, give water to people,
ये क्यों
give food
अच्छा
to
काम
people,
है,
these are good
ये ऐसा
activities,
करने से
these
क्या
are
होता
pious
है कि वो
activities. Why
पुण्य
they
का
are
फल हमारा
prescribed?
होता है।
One reason is
ऐसा
that when
करने
we
से
perform such
हमारी संस्कृति
activities,
अच्छी
then
होती है,
others get benefit,
सत्व गुण में
first of
बढ़ते हैं।
all. Then secondly,
जिससे
we
आपसे
achieve,
अपना भरोसा
remain in Sattva Gun.
उनका
We
उद्देश्य
are
होता है
in a
जीवन में
good
आपको
state of
सफलता की
mind.
स्थिति में लाने का।
And thirdly, we
इसलिए ये
slowly
कहते
come
हैं
to the
कि
state where mind is in
समझदार आदमी आसान
equanimity.
काम
And that is the ultimate goal,
सोच सकता है,
because bringing mind in such a
ठीक है,
state is not so
और
easy.
इसको
Understanding this itself
जीवन
is
में और भी
difficult, and applying it is even more difficult,
करने का।
because our swabhava, our nature
स्थिति
is
विषमता
to always remain disturbed.
विषमता पैदा कर
Because
देती है।
even if there is no cause for
जब उनका
disturbance,
आपस में बहुत झगड़ा
we
हो रहा
we
था
give rise to such disturbance of mind.
और झगड़ा किस बात को लेकर था,
If there was a fight between husband and wife,
हमारा
and
चाहे वो
the cause of the
पति
fight
चाहता था कि
was
इसको डॉक्टर बनाएंगे
that
और बीवी
the
कहती थी कि नहीं इसको इंजीनियर
husband
बनाएंगे।
was telling that we should make our son a doctor,
शाम को
and
बीवी
the
आके
wife was
बैठती
telling
थी
no, he
तो
should
इसके
become engineer.
की चर्चा
So during evening they
होती कि
were
नहीं डॉक्टर बनाएंगे, उसने कहा नहीं
sitting together during
ठीक है,
dinner,
फिर उसी के
and
चलते
again
फिर
this
भी
issue
वो
started, and
लड़ाई
then
होने लगी।
there was a big fight.
तो इतनी लड़ाई हुई कि पड़ोसी आ गया,
There was so much
क्या हो
fight
गया इतना
that
खर्चा क्यों है?
neighbors
तो
came
हमने
there,
उनको कहा कि भाई क्यों लड़ रहे हो आप,
and they
बताते
asked,
हैं
why
कि
are you
इसको
fighting?
डॉक्टर बनाना
Then
चाहते
the
हैं,
husband said
बीवी
that I
कहती मैं
want to
इंजीनियर
make
बनाना
my son
चाहती
a
हूँ।
doctor, and the wife
तो
said
वो
no,
कहते
I want
हैं
to make him
भाई
engineer.
झगड़ क्यों रहे हो, लड़के से क्यों नहीं पूछ लेते वो क्या बनना चाहता है।
So the neighbor said, why are you both of
उसका
you
दिमाग
fighting?
खराब
Why
हो
don't
गया,
you
उससे
ask
पूछ
the
लिया
boy what
तो
does
उसने
he
कहा
want
मेरा
to
तो पैदा
become?
ही नहीं,
So they said that the son is not born only.
तो जब पैदा होगा उसकी बात कर रहे हैं।
We are discussing that when he will be born, then
तो
what should be his
ऐसी
career?
स्थिति
What should he
हमारी
become?
उनकी रहती है। कहने का
So this
मतलब ये
is
है कि
what happens to our mind.
बगैर झगड़े के रह नहीं सकते हैं, ऐसी
We
आदत है
can't live without fighting.
हमेशा
This
हमारा
is our
मन जो है वो
nature.
राग और द्वेष की
Our mind is
रास्ते पर
always
चलता है,
walking
इसलिए
on
कभी ना
the
कहीं
two
विघ्न
tracks of
बनता है।
raga and dvesh. So we keep searching
तो
reasons for disturbance,
क्या
for fighting.
क्या कहावत है कि वो शक्कर खोरा शक्कर ढूंढ लेता है, कि जिसको जो चीज़ खाने की आदत होती है उसको कहीं ना कहीं से वो ढूंढ ही लेगा।
So it is said in Hindi that when if a
तो
person
ये
wants to
हमारी
eat
आदत
something,
है
somehow or
विषमता की।
other, somewhere he will find it.
तो अगर समता की स्थिति
So
पर
it
है,
has become
हम
our
खुश
nature
हैं,
to remain disturbed.
प्रेम से बैठे हुए हैं, सब कुछ है, तो भी कुछ ना कुछ आदमी करेगा ऐसे कि
So we see that even if
झगड़ा
people
हो
are
जाए।
sitting peacefully with a
बहुत से
friendly
लोग
nature together, suddenly some reason will
समाज
come
में
up and they will start
धर्मी
fighting.
है,
So it is
अब
seen
रिटायर हो
that
गया,
husband wife,
उसको पेंशन
the
मिलती
husband
है,
has
सब
retired,
कुछ है, पैसा भी है,
he is getting
लेकिन
pension,
फिर
he
भी
has
शांति नहीं
money,
है।
everything, but still
कुछ
that
ना कुछ
person is
कहीं
not
से ना कहीं
peaceful.
से कुछ दिक्कत है।
Somehow
तो ये
some
हमारे
reason
माइंड
comes
की
up,
ऐसी स्थिति है।
and then fighting starts.
माइंड इज नेवर हैप्पी अनलेस इट क्रिएट्स ट्रबल। तो उससे हमको निकलना है, उससे हमको बचना है।
So we have to get rid of
तो उसी के
this.
लिए भगवान यहाँ
We
बता
have
दिए
to
हैं
come out of
समता का,
this disturbed state of mind.
हमको शिक्षा
That's
देते
why
हैं
Bhagavan is
कि इस प्रकार से।
teaching
और
this
इसके
equanimity
लिए
of mind,
पहली सीढ़ी
how it
है
can be done
महत्वपूर्ण
practically.
जो उन्होंने बताया और आगे
And
भी
for
हम
this,
बताते रहेंगे, वो
the
है कि
first step,
स्वभाव के अनुसार काम
what Bhagavan
करें।
told
क्योंकि जब हम
is
अपने
that the
स्वभाव के
first
अनुसार
thing that
काम
we should do
करेंगे
in life is to work
तो
according to
हमारा
our
शांति
swabhava,
रहेगा,
our nature.
हमारा
Because
मस्तिष्क
if we do
शांत
that,
रहेगा।
our mind will be
और जब
peaceful, it
मस्तिष्क
will be
अच्छी रहेगी तो सब
satisfied.
व्यवस्था में
When
ठीक
mind
रहेगा।
is satisfied, it
और
will
विषमता में
be
क्यों होता है?
peaceful.
फिर पहला कारण यही है कि जब अपने स्वभाव के अनुसार काम
And
नहीं
the
करते हैं
first
तो
reason
विषमता में
for
रहेंगे।
this
फिर विषमता
disturbance
में
is
कहाँ
that we are
जाएंगे?
not working according to swabhava.
तो इसलिए
Then it is
शिक्षा
then if we are not working
सही दिशा
according to our
चलने के लिए
swabhava and still we want to
जरूरी
remain
है।
peaceful, it is very difficult.
ये पूरा
And
वर्णाश्रम
now this will
धर्म के बारे
continue
में
till fifth chapter
स्वभाव के
in
बारे में,
Gita.
स्वभाव
It's all
जन्य
about varnashram dharma, swabhava.
सदृशम चेष्टे स्वस्या प्रकृतिर ज्ञानवान अपि, अनेक प्रकार की बात भगवान
Bhagavan will tell many things
और आज हमारे
on
समाज
this
में एक
topic.
बहुत बड़ी समस्या है
And there's a big problem in today's
स्वभाव
society
के बारे में
that
ज्ञान नहीं है,
people
बल्कि
have no knowledge
लोग
about their
श्रद्धा से जब
swabhava.
कुछ काम करते हैं तो उसको
Rather,
कहते हैं तो
people do all
शरीर
kinds
का
of
स्वभाव है, मन का
things,
स्वभाव है, इस तरह का।
and then they say this is the swabhava of
तो
body, of mind.
स्वभाव को समझना है और उसके अनुसार
So we have to understand the swabhava, understand the nature, and we have to function according to that. And that functioning should also be approved by Shastra. Because just because something is according to my swabhava does not mean that is right. Because somebody's swabhava may be to be angry. That does not mean that person should keep expressing anger and he will be happy. No. Then Shastra is also important. Because many people say like this nowadays that it is my swabhava. So if I'm acting like this, what is the problem? No. When we say functioning according to swabhava, that functioning has to be approved by Shastra. That's why there was Varnashram Dharma system in Shastra. Because nowadays it has become a common statement. People say this is his nature or this is my nature. So we'll stop here. And if you have any question, you can ask.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी, बहुत अच्छा विषय चर्चा हुआ। तो इसमें मैं ये जानना चाहता था कि
So question,
उपदेशामृत का जो उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात्,
when Sri Rupa Goswami is telling in Upadeshamrit about Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dharya, Tat Karma, Pravartana,
जैसे मोटिवेशनल का भी आप बोल रहे थे भगवान,
and what Bhagavan is telling in Bhagavad Gita, he is motivating Arjuna as you were telling.
यहाँ पर अप्लाई हो रहा, ये वही उपदेशामृत का श्लोक यहाँ पे अप्लाई हो रहा है?
Is that instruction of Upadeshamrit matching here? So answer, definitely it is matching. When you perform, when your duty is according to your swabhava, will you not have enthusiasm for that?
धर्म के बारे में ये सारा संशय तो इसलिए हुआ ना कि जो अधर्म है उसको अर्जुन धर्म समझ रहा है, तो इसलिए उसको
So then there will be determination also, and determination will happen when doubt will be resolved.
जीवन का क्या उद्देश्य है, तो फिर धैर्य से काम करेंगे.
And then when you will understand what is the goal of my life, then definitely you will work with patience also.
प्रश्न है बाबा जी, संभाव में हमेशा
Question,
कैसे स्थित रहा जाए? कई बार कोशिश
how can I always remain in samabhava with equanimity of mind? Many times I have tried in good and bad times in thinking, how can I maintain equanimity? Because many times I lose control of mind. So answer, that's what I say, that it needs repeated practice, because our mind has become habituated to remaining disturbed. Like somebody becomes habituated to smoking, that person cannot live without smoking. Even if it is written on the packet that it is injurious to health, the person reads that, till the person smokes. Why? Because it has become his habit. Habit means he has made it his swabhava. Here swabhava means he has made it a wrong habit. With the swabhava, what we are talking of here, it is not our nitya, eternal swabhava. This swabhava we are talking of is related to our body. And it has been acquired from outside, the external environment. So everybody is accustomed in this world to remain disturbed. So to come out of that, it needs a lot of practice. It's not just, it cannot be achieved in a day or two. It takes years and years of practice. But if we understand it is the right thing to do and it will make us happy, why not keep practicing that? Otherwise we will always remain miserable.
राम राम जी, कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछें.
राधे राधे महाराज जी. महाराज जी, मेरा सवाल है ये, जैसे मान लीजिए कि किसी व्यक्ति का स्वभाव तामसिक है और वो राजसिक में आना चाह रहा है,
क्या आना चाह रहा है,
किस तरह आए? क्योंकि अगर वो तामसिक है तो वो, जैसे महाराज जी किसी व्यक्ति का स्वभाव तामसिक है और वो राजसिक चाह रहा है कि हो, तो वो
So question, if a person is of tamasic nature and he wants to come to rajasic,
काम करना पड़ेगा से आएगी कि वो अपने आप को उतना
राजनीति
तामसिक स्वभाव
तामसिक स्वभाव से राजसिक में आना चाहता है.
So question, if a person, what should a person do?
जी, जैसे महाराज जी कोई व्यक्ति तामसिक है और वो राजसिक में आना चाह रहा है, तो वो राजसिक में कैसे आए? क्योंकि वो तो पहले से ही तामसिक है. तो
पहले तो
मतलब जैसे मान लीजिए तामसिक है, आलसी है,
तो आलसी है तो उसको
जी,
आलस
तामसिक है, आलसी है, मतलब
तो पहले तो उसको अपना भोजन बदलना पड़ेगा.
So the question was, how can a person come from tamasic to rajasic nature? So answer, first of all, he has to change his diet, the food that he eats. So if you want to come from tamasic to rajasic, then you have to consume rajasic diet with a lot of spices, pepper, and do some exercises. And for that, that person will not do it on his own. So he has to take help from somebody, from a person who is actually not tamasic. Like nowadays, people employ life coaches. So you should take help from somebody else who can wake him up, take him for a stroll in the park, or for running, or for exercising. So the person has to take help from the other person, because tamas will not go away on its own. That's what tamas means. But most important is to change the food. Should give up tamasic food and consume sattvic or rajasic food, but not tamasic.
धनंजय जी पूछते हैं आजकल के समय
Next
में
question, how can we determine our swabhava and our nature in today's world? So answer, so swabhava is something you should try to understand on your own. You can take help from a learned person. And secondly, you should try to understand, analyze what is it that you like. We also have designed a survey on a questionnaire on our Vedic psychology website. We have a questionnaire. You can fill that and it will give you idea about your swabhava. You can get some benefit from that.
ठीक है.
इसी से संबंधित है कि
I have another related question that
स्वभाव तो 3 गुणों से बना हुआ है.
Swabhava, is it made of 3 gunas? Answer, yes. Swabhava is made of these 3 gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas.
फिर तो इसका ये पता नहीं चलेगा ना कि वास्तव में ये इसका रियल जैसे आप वास्तविक
स्वभाव से आपका क्या मतलब है? एक आत्मा है और एक शरीर.
So the question is, how can we understand the real swabhava?
आत्मा तो 3 गुण से परे है, उसकी चिंता मत कीजिए.
So what do you mean by atma swabhava? Atma is anyway beyond the 3 gunas. Nothing happens to the atma. Why are you worried about the atma? It's swabhava. So next question, person should perform his duty, and not doing duty brings loss. And when in a doubtful situation, the person cannot perform his duty properly. So how can I get rid of the doubt? So answer, you have to tell me what is the doubt. Otherwise, how can I solve your doubt? Because doubt can be of various types. You have to express your doubt, then only the doubt can be resolved. So question, sometimes I feel that the job, the work that I have, it is not according to my swabhava.
अपना स्वभाव पता लगाइए और नहीं है तो फिर ठीक है, आपका निर्णय हो जाएगा कि मैं अपने स्वभाव.
So answer, you find out your swabhava, find out if it is actually not your work is not according to that. First find out your swabhava, then only you can decide whether your work is according to your swabhava or no. Next question, sometimes I understand that what I am doing, I am doing it out of attachment for happiness and hatred for pain. and I have attachment for raga and dvesha. Although I understand that, but then I don't understand what I should do to get rid of that raga and dvesh. So answer, that is why we are talking of Shastra, Guru. That is why in our dharma there is talk of Shastra and Guru. Because if we simply act in this world according to our mind, then mind will keep inspiring us to perform wrong activities. This is what is shown in the first chapter of Gita. Arjun was giving so many logic arguments how he will incur a sin and then he will incur the dosha of killing his superiors, gurujanas. So what our mind does is that mind takes justifications from the intelligence to defend the wrong activities, whatever it has attachment for. That is why the Shastra teaches us go to Guru, learn from Guru, and act according to the instruction of Guru. Although initially you may not like those instructions, but you have Shraddha that what Guru is telling is for our benefit. Because mind will keep cheating us, because every person has attachments and the person does not want to give up his attachments. If you ask the people who are smoking, then they will say that I smoke because it relieves my tension, then I can think properly. So they also have their justifications. So every person, whatever wrong activity he does, he has tarka for that. His buddhi gives justifications to the mind for just to defend those wrong activities. So that's why we should take help from learned people, from Guru. Next question. Can a Kshatriya change his innate nature to that of a Brahmin or Vaishya or Shudra by changing his food habits? Food habits do influence, but it does not happen so quickly that 2-3 days you change your food and your nature will change. Changing Swabhava is extremely difficult. In Gita also, Bhagavan will tell this. That is why Bhagavan is telling again and again that please function according to your Swabhava, according to your nature. Swabhava does not change so easily, so quickly. That's why Bhagavan is not telling about changing Swabhava. Bhagavan is teaching not to change the Swabhava. He is teaching to act according to Swabhava.
सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्ममः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमस्ते पंकजंघ्रये
नमस्ते पंकजंघ्रये
भवे भवे यथा भक्ति
भवे भवे यथा भक्ति
पादयोस्तव जायते
पादयोस्तव जायते
तथा कुरुष्व देवेश
तथा कुरुष्व देवेश
नाथस्त्वं नो यथा प्रभो
नाथस्त्वं नो यथा प्रभो
नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य
नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य
सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं
सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं
प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं
प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं
नमामि हरिं परम्
नमामि हरिं परम्
हरि ओम तत्सत्।